Okay, everybody. Welcome to the Crypterium live stream. For those of you who've been on this before, you know the format. Hopefully you can see my face in the corner and I'll run a slideshow. Let's see if we can get this to work. So usual housekeeping to start with. I can't see your comments. All I can see is my own screen and my own face. So if you do press comments, we will try and cover them after the live stream. So they usually take about 20 to 25 minutes, something like that. And I'll try and take you through, the key issues. So first of all, if you've never seen me before, I'm Kimm. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Crypterium and look after many of the strategic issues and sort of senior partnership matters of the company. Today I'm going to go through crowdfunding. I'm going to make that very quick because I think you're pretty bored of that one. I'm going to also cover strategy and vision a little bit more. We don't have a lot of performance metrics to show you because if you recall, or if you saw previous ones, now that we have run a crowd investing and we have over 2,600 shareholders, we have to be a little bit more careful with the type of information that we pass out, but nevertheless, a little bit of information, quick June updates on some of the issues. We've got some token burning news that we would like to share with you, and of course, I'll finish off with something that tries to promote the company a little bit more in the referral program. So let me start off with the crowdfunding update. I don't have a slide on this, so it's very, very straightforward. If you've been on the previous live streams or you've been an investor in Crypterium, thank you very much. But also, you're probably aware of the fact that not everything has been finalized. So we raised over 3 million euros. We also raised another 500,000 from an institutional investor, so about 3.5 million euros, which is all great news. But it's not finalized, as in legally finalized yet. We're not raising any more money through this process. It's closed really to new investors. But due to the fact that Crypterium is an Estonian company, Seedrs, the company that we used for the crowd investing, is a UK company. There's a couple of additional legal hoops that we have to go through, and one of them is the fact that Crypterium is Crypterium AS, and to those who don't know, that basically means we're a publicly traded company to some degree, and that our shares have to be registered on the NASDAQ. You can't trade them on the NASDAQ, but they have to be available on the NASDAQ, and Seedrs are having a problem opening a particular account for that. It will be solved, it just takes time. Probably another couple of months, unfortunately. However, your investments are all controlled by Seedrs. We haven't received any of the money. In fact, we haven't even received any information about who has invested. We've had over 2,600 investors, so quite a lot of you. But all your benefits, all your special promotions, everything is basically retained by us. But because we haven't finally closed, Seedrs through GDPR rules can't actually tell us who is who, so we cannot distribute any of the benefits. So the things like the hoodies and the special cards and the CRP token cashback, all are being stored by us, and as soon as we close, we will send it. So please don't think that we're being slow on issuing any of those benefits or providing you further updates. It is just unfortunately, legal matters, they always take longer than expected, and Seedrs were also a little bit surprised by the problem that they faced in opening a particular account that they need out in Estonia. So everything moving along nicely, but unfortunately not much I can tell you, and everybody who's invested, you're still invested, just it'll take a couple months longer before you get your certificate and all the benefits. So I don't have a lot of things to really update you with this month in terms of all the products that we've launched, etc. And I'll explain that a little bit later. So this is a little bit of a messy slide. I made this myself with the help of our marketing team, and we need a little bit more work. But what I thought we would try and do is explain to you where we are on our timeline, what we're trying to achieve, so you understand what we're trying to do at the moment, and then what we're going to do next. So I've split it into 4 phases. Maybe there will be a 5th phase and a 6th phase in the future, but I've split basically where we're up to into 4 phases. When we first launched back at the end of 2017, did an ICO, it was all about the spending of crypto. Wouldn't it be great if you could spend crypto? That was the vision. That's what we sold the ICO concept on. And we had a very successful ICO. I'm sure many of you are token owners. It was all about getting licenses, building the app infrastructure, basic services. Then mid-2018 through 2019, it was about the fact that actually payments aren't the be-all and end-all. Secondly, they're also a lot harder to do than we originally thought, because at the time Visa just wasn't ready for us. And we realized that everything was about providing a sort of all-you-can-eat buffet for crypto all in one location. So we added additional functionality. We launched a global payment card. I won't go into the history of that, but as you know, it was a UnionPay card and not as successful as we would have liked. But we still nevertheless saw significant customer growth. Then 2020, 2021, I would say, is our third phase. Because the second phase was and first phase was all about the individual. We didn't really mention the B2B company opportunities at all. All we talked about was what an individual needs. And then in 2020, we realized that the opportunity is significantly greater than just the individual, and that there was a fantastic opportunity out there, a space that was not being occupied for businesses. So we added a B2B layer during 2020. We also saw significant growth in our user base. I mean, you can see these user numbers. We grew that's just under 200,000 2019 to the end of 2020, but we've already grown more than that in 2021. So we are seeing significant registered user growth, but also we started to bring on board B2B partners. And now we've got 24, 25, something like that. And we added to the range of the services. So the way we look at things now is we are sort of finishing off the third phase. And the third phase, that growth also accompanied some, let's say, it highlighted some deficiencies somewhere within the app. The load time was too slow. Some of the services had issues which we needed to fix. So during phase 3 and before we really move into phase 4, we're fixing a lot of those bugs. But nevertheless, the vision is really quite clear for us. We're growing very nicely. We're bringing on the partners. Revenue, which I won't go into in any detail, but revenue is staying very solid for us. And then once we've gone past this little phase of, say, a couple of months' time, we're really pushing for our global expansion and owning the process of the chain. And I'll talk a little bit now about sort of phase 3 and phase 4 and why we think that is the right thing for us. So the way we look at it, every company is a fintech company now. Whether you're a website, whether you are a major industrial business, in this case, if you're a taxi delivery service, it doesn't really matter. Every company is a fintech company, and financial services are core to their economic model, whether it's just paying fees for their Visa cards or whether it's about owning particular parts of that chain. And the bigger the company, the more they want to effectively be their own bank. And we believe that every fintech company will become a crypto company. Crypto for us, of course, that is our bread and butter, but we believe there will be a clear integration of the two services. And if you are watching this live stream or you are tuning in a bit later, I don't need to convert you here. Crypto is becoming now mainstream. I think we're getting past the early adopters. I don't mean this in any strange way, but my plumber last week was talking to me about Ethereum. And I just don't believe 2 years ago my plumber would have been talking about Ethereum as a potential investment tool. So I think we are going way past the early adopters, and what is going to happen is all those fintech companies are going to want to be a crypto company. But to be a crypto company is actually pretty difficult, and some of them want to be a crypto bank. You've got the basic layer. You may have a website that wants to accept crypto, perfect. But you also have, those really big companies out there that don't just want to accept crypto. They actually want to have a full range of functionality. But it's very complicated. It's taken us 3 years to get to where we are. And all the other companies out there have also been, going around for 2-3 years. So it's a complicated thing with compliance, technology, license requirements. increased admin. I mean, I've mentioned this before and I'll mention it again. Most companies, when they launch local, gradually build up their capability and gradually expand internationally, add in additional languages, additional functions. Crypto companies don't do that. They go global straight away with all the administration, all the licensing and everything that comes with all of those problems. Different languages, different understandings. So it is a very complicated process. So our vision is to provide a single-stop solution both on a retail and a B2B level with a complete range of products, very high quality security, white label software which is easy to integrate. We believe in a global licensing, and that's one of the reasons why we've now done the Seeders capital raise. And we do believe in a fully managed customer support where we don't just outsource that to someone else. We try to give that away to our partners. So we see that there are 5 major use cases. I'm not going to go through them all in detail. On the one hand, you've got the retail, and that is still going to be absolutely massive. You know, of our 584,000 registered users at the end of May, the vast bulk of them are still retail customers. However, as I've shown in the past, and I think maybe I show a little bit in the future, a significant percentage is now starting to become in the B2B. And I strongly believe that within a year's time, the B2B customer base will far outstrip the growth in the retail, because it's just simple mathematics. If you have 100 B2B partners and each of them have themselves 50,000 customers and they're all potentially given the opportunity for crypto, very simple mathematics say that this is, you know, where we're going to see the major growth. So we have crypto companies that we've got on the books. We've got several crypto companies that we work with, fintech companies, you know, whether they're e-money institution licensed, whether they're trading platforms. We've got payments out, payments in. So there's a whole range of use cases here. This week, I think we signed up. Well, actually, we didn't sign up, but we had a very good conversation with a gold miner, for example, out in Latin America. But they want to have their own crypto token that is linked to the value of gold. They're the type of things now which people are talking about, which, you know, a few years ago no one would have thought about. If they have their own token that's a stable coin linked to gold, then they need a platform. They will need a payment card. And these are the things that Crypterium is heavily focused on providing. So it's everything you need in one place, and it's not just for the individual, it is for the business. And as I said previously, you know, we are growing now at a very nice pace. 24, 25 companies now signed up for Crypterium. The other thing which I haven't put a slide on this. Let me just explain to you the economics of everything a little bit. So a retail customer, no matter how active the retail customer is never going to be as economically attractive as a business customer. Again, just simple maths of how many, you know, people are involved. So a typical retail customer, I use the app and I pay the service fees like everybody else, will probably contribute, let's say, 50 euros to 100 euros of fees over an annual period. And you can probably liken that if you've got a Visa card or you've got an American Express card. You know, they charge you 50 to 100 euros a year, maybe $5-6 a month, something like that. And that's pretty much the same type of economics we face. A business customer, on the other hand, pays a reasonable integration fee that we make a small profit from. But thereafter, we have minimum platform fees, we have revenue share models, and the lifetime value of, say, one business customer is well in excess of, say, a couple of €100,000. Now, that's a lot of retail customers to generate a couple of 100,000 lifetime value. Now, it's very hard to calculate lifetime value when you've only been up and running in the B2B space for 6 months. But if we work on the basis that, you know, the average company will stay with us for a few years, then, you know, a couple of €100,000 lifetime value is very realistic. And as I say, we're signing up one a week. And now that we've had a successful Seeders capital raise, we're recruiting a lot of developers, a lot of high quality B2B experts. And I hope to see 1 become 2 a week and 2 become 3 a week, you know, in the not too distant future. So business performance, as I say, I can't really give you too much information. I carry on giving you the registered users. We carry on growing. It doesn't look that much, I think, when I present it this way, because what we're showing here is September 2020 to May. But September 2020 was, what's that, approximately 250,000 registered users to more than 550,000 less than 12 months later. So we are growing really at a very attractive rate, and this yellow bar is the contribution of the B2B. In terms of where we see our activity, transfer out, of course, or blockchain transfers, of course, the primary activity. Exchange, significant proportion. That means that we will be bringing in more coins, we will be bringing in more attractive tokens, because that is a key feature of our application. The card pay-in, that means effectively buy crypto. People buy a lot of crypto still through our application. The Crypterium cards is loads and spending, and then cash out to other people's cards, or maybe even your own card, but using our cash out service. That's where we see the primary activity. We don't see a huge amount of activity yet in the lending. The savings is successful, but that is partially dependent on how attractive the rates are. The rates aren't quite as attractive now as they were a few weeks ago. The partners that we work with aren't quite as generous as they were. So the savings element isn't quite as popular this week as it was maybe a month ago, but nevertheless, it's still a very nice income earner for us. So quick updates for June. Nothing really exciting here, and I don't want to therefore spend too much time on it. I've mentioned to you in the past, we are aware of the deficiencies of our application. We are aware of the fact that we grew faster than our services were supporting it. So we've decided to take a 3, maybe even a 4-month break to fix all the things that we knew were not broken, but not working as well as they should do. So the fixing the loading time. I mean, some of you will have noticed, and I personally noticed, that sometimes when you open the Crypterium app, it might take 20-30 seconds before it loads. That's too long. So we focused on some basic functionality to improve those payouts. We've tried to improve our fraud control so that we don't have as much delay and things like that. So you're not going to see a major product launch in the next few weeks. The type of things that we are focused on are behind the scenes. And actually a few of you, very kind, usually people only write to me when they want to complain, but a few of you have actually written to me to say you've actually seen a significant improvement with the performance of the app. So it is nice that people are actually noticing it. One other thing, I've talked in the past about the fact that in phase 4, let's call it, global expansion is key. And we really want to make a bigger play for the US market. We've signed a contract now with a company called Cascade. Kickoff meetings are underway. We would expect, therefore, to have Visa cards live in the USA, definitely in Q4, hopefully early Q4. We've done it once before. We know pretty much how we're going to do it, but every partner is different, and there's still a lot of integration to take place. But we will have some very nice features. The Crypterium card today is a top-up card, a prepaid card, and there's a standard type of card. But there are actually 2 types of prepaid card. You've got the type of prepaid card which we have, which is you cash it all out when you want to, and then you put the $1,000 or whatever it is you want to cash out onto the card, and then it stays on the card as €1,000, and you can then ignore completely what's going on with the crypto market because you know you have €1,000 on your card. The other type of card is sort of a straight through. It's still a top up, but it actually goes directly to your wallet each time that you need to make a transaction. So you can actually have a 0 balance card, but you go to the card every time you want to make a spend. Our US partner can do both, and we are trying to work out what our users would prefer. I know, for example, that the Coinbase card has the second option, and compared to the Crypterium option. I personally don't like it because I like to know exactly what I'm paying when I spend. And I know that if it costs €20, then that's exactly how much I'm going to spend. Whereas I don't know whether the market's gone up 5% or down 5% today. So I'm going to maybe just in a few of the chats just to see what people think. We don't have to make the decision today, but it is a functionality that we can add to our US card, and I would really be quite curious to see which one people prefer. The burning, nothing particularly exciting again going in the past in terms of what we burned. It's roughly we're staying in line, but I think what is interesting is we're going to try and do something a little bit more exciting in the future. So a lot of people have said that your burning is just not fast enough to have any impact on the price of the token, and that seems, you know, a pretty reasonable challenge. So we have seen other tokens do something more dramatic in the past, and we want to do something similar ourselves. So we as a company are going to or we're planning to burn as many as 1 million tokens in the very near future. We'll make a bit of a song and dance about it. We'll publicize it. Hopefully it will have a kick to the token. Maybe the supply demand mathematics won't really kick in because we've got a supply of just under 100 million. So if we burn 1 million of them, you know, it's 1%. So the supply demand economics are not really going to kick in. But the fact that we're doing it, the fact that we'll make a bit of a splash, hopefully that will make you know, an impact in that people will notice the token a bit more. The other thing that we're committed to doing is over the future, we want to burn a total supply of 30%. Now, we can't go out tomorrow and buy 30% supply of our own tokens because then the supply demand economics really do kick in. And even if we had all the money that we needed to go out and buy, you know, 30 million tokens, by the time we bought that 30 million token, the token price should be significantly higher. But we are planning, that is our vision over a reasonable period of time, and that means a couple of years or maybe even 3 years. It doesn't mean 3 months. That is a goal that we have set ourselves, is to effectively reduce the supply of the token by 30%. It is something that we're still working on some of the details, but you will see a plan, or the plan to burn tokens. You will see that take place in the nearest future. Some people have written to me and said, don't burn 1 million tokens, use the tokens in a different way. So we are still thinking about, you know, some of the features. Maybe we don't burn a whole million, maybe we burn 900,000, we use 100,000 as a giveaway or something. But right now, the vision is to burn 1 million tokens in the very near future. We've already burnt 1.3 million, but as I said, you know, 1.3 million is just over 1% of the total supply. So the supply demand economics haven't kicked in, but I really do believe they will start to kick in once all those B2B partners really start to become active. Because the other key feature of the B2B is that the primary function that most people want is the cards. And the cards is where there is a fee, primarily a fee for CRPT, so you will see more burning. You don't always get a burn for some of the transactions. If I go back, for example, on some of the key functionality inside our application, there isn't a burning connected to every single one of those. So we hope to see a better burn in the future, but even if there isn't, we will, not artificially, but we will massage the supply slightly by starting with a burn. And finally, as I said, there's not a huge amount I wanted to cover this month, but I do want to finish off with the referral program. We have the standard type of service, you know, invite your friends, get a $5 gift. But we also add on top of that, you get a share, effectively 25% of their revenue over that we generate from them over a 12-month period. And the average retail customer, as I said, you know, maybe it's $100. Generated fees over a 12-month window. So one customer is not worth $5. One customer can be worth 30 or 40 bucks. And if you start to bring in, I don't know, 10, 15 customers, that starts to add up. So we're going to make a bigger push on the referral program. It is quite popular. We do get a good percentage of our customers come from the referral program. And economically, it works out very well because $5, it might sound a lot, but I can promise you it costs a lot less than, say, trying to get a customer out of Facebook. It costs a lot more than $5 to get a registered user out of Facebook, and particularly a registered user that actually used the application. The other thing I just want to talk to people about is we do have a very nice referral program in the B2B space. Here, fees are significantly greater. The minimum fee for an integration is about 10,000 euros, but depends how complicated it goes. I mean, it could easily, some of our integrations have had an upfront fee in excess of 100,000 for the really complicated ones where there's a dedicated token that requires a connectivity, for example, to a specific exchange and so on and so on. So here, the lead generation fee is very attractive. And I guess a lot of you who are watching this have friends or know of businesses that could need the Crypterium services, and we do pay a very nice commission here, 15% of the upfront fee, and then a trail commission of 7.5% of everything we earn. And as I mentioned, the lifetime value here is hundreds of thousands for a good business. So if you are in that space, please just drop me a message. I think already today 3 people have written to me saying, can we have a call? I know of someone. In fact, one company signed up this week that was a referral last week from someone I'd never heard of. So it can move pretty fast. It doesn't take months for this part to take place. Okay, I've tried to keep it short. As I said, I didn't have a huge amount to update you. I hope you appreciated my little bits of insight into what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve, the reason why we're not doing a huge amount of product launches at the moment, update on the token, and finishing off a little bit with the Referral Program. As ever, please write to me if you have questions, but as I said, we will now have a look at the Facebook and we will try and respond to anything that any of you mentioned. So that's it. Thank you very much for your time. I will try and end this live stream efficiently and hope to meet you all again next month. Thank you very much.